Hi everybody, Stormbringer here, and we're here at the spayathon. We're going to talk a little bit about what we got going on. First of all, who am I talking to?
Well, I'm Rick Lewis. I'm with Crusaders Incorporated, and us, along with Rough Life Rescue and Homeward Bound Veterinary Clinic, we put on the spay and the neuter-a-thons here in Perryville at the Perryville outlets right now. And this is our second one. It's going very well. As you know, you can see you've been to both, and the event's going very well. We've gotten a lot of animals fixed. We did 200 males last time for the neuter-a-thon, and we did 20 females today and another 30 males today.
Wow.
So, you know, it's been successful and we're happy with it so far.
Now, this is a program I'm assuming it's going to continue. You guys will be trying to keep these going.
Absolutely, and it was something that we had started even prior to doing the spays and neuters here at Perryville Outlet. You know, we were doing them, you know, on an on-location basis, and we still do that with some locations. We put, you know, the van on location and with the larger colonies, especially doing trap, neuter, return, so that we can, you know, get 30 or 40 cats done at once and take care of the colony almost, you know, in one weekend, if at all possible. So, you know, we do those type of things, and we're doing the events here. We're going to try to make this a monthly thing, and we're also going to probably incorporate maybe some antique market and like some yard sale stuff. So if people want to come out for that, they can come out and check that out. Everything will benefit the cats and the rescues. And as you can see, you know, people come from different rescues. They come from, you know, cat rescues and dog rescues. So, you know, it's a place for us all to get together and network for the animals and do something good for the animals.
Now, is there something, will you be looking to maybe do an event like this for dogs at another point, or is it just for cats now?
Right now, it's just kind of, you know, more along the lines for cats, but we would like to do some dog events. I know we're talking about doing another Paws on Parade at this location, and we may do some other events with, you know, with Homeward Bound that is more geared towards the spay and neuter of dogs. There's a lot of people that have asked that question, you know, because there's a lot of people that can't afford to pay the $200 or $300 to get their dog spayed and neutered, and they're asking for help. So we want to try to, you know, help those people out too here in the long run, because the demand is there and nobody's really filling that role right now. And the other thing is, you know, we don't discount anybody. Anybody can come, you know, whether you're low income or high income. It's just, you know, a chance for people to come out and make sure their animals get spayed and neutered, you know, because ultimately what we're trying to do is reduce the number of animals going into those shelters and being euthanized every year that are unwanted or just don't have enough homes for.
Yeah, well, that's one of the big things. You know, one of the big things that we fight for with Defenders is trying to educate people about responsible pet ownership, and this includes spay-neuters.
Absolutely.
Because there's what, like, is it 500,000 dogs and cats that are euthanized every year across the country?
You know, it's astronomical, the amount of animals that never, you know, see the light of day, that come, you know, into these shelters and you know, never get adopted, and you know, they get overwhelmed year after year. And you know, the number one thing that they get overwhelmed with is cats and kittens. Yeah. And every kitten season, you know, if you talk to any county-run shelter manager, they'll tell you they have to make some difficult decisions, and we're trying to make sure that those decisions aren't made on, as regular as they are in these county entities. And we want to, network with those county entities and make sure that, they don't feel like they're in the dark. That,
Right.
They can team with us, and even if it's something they can't get done, we can get done as nonprofits. And by working together, we can reduce that number.
Now, is it unusual for for this many different rescue groups, different nonprofit animal groups, to come together to do an event like this? I know many rescues offer them unto themselves.
Yes.
Like this group will offer this service. Is it unusual for this many groups to come together to pool their resources?
I think it is. I think a lot of times, there's personal differences between rescues, or sometimes it's space differences. Cecil County as opposed to Hartford County.
Right.
I mean, the river's a big obstacle for some folks. And that can segregate groups. And I think this is something we do that incorporates as many of the different groups as we can. Everybody kind of pitches in a little bit, and ultimately in the end, everybody's here to help the animals out, whether they're with one group or another, or whether they're with a dog group or a cat group. There's no division line when everybody's
Right.
here. You know what I mean? And I think you've seen that. You've seen people from many different rescues throughout the county, and you're like, everybody's very happy to be here. Everybody's happy to to meet each other and work together and to get the job done. And it goes very, very, very smoothly.
Yeah, I've noticed that with all the different groups of people, because you find that a lot of times, as you say, in the rescue community, you will find things can get a little mercenary sometimes. People
Absolutely.
aren't always able to work together. They have different ideas of what saving the animals means. And so you find that those problems arise.
Policies are different. People, sometimes personalities will conflict, but you just got to move beyond that. And that's something that we don't dwell on here. We just work together as a team to get it done. And I think our first event was very successful. A lot of people heard about it. To get 200 animals done in a day, I think is great. And Dr. Vance, she does a great job. She's great with surgery. She's thorough. She's quick. She's got a good staff. And if something should come up, they're on it. And I think that's very important.
One of the other things that for people who are outside of our area that aren't aware of this, though I've talked about it a bit in some other blogs, and that is that essentially Cecil County has no animal control. We, for all intents and purposes, don't have an SPCA. We don't have a lot of these things here. We have like the Maryland SPCA, which is an independent entity, but they're based out in Baltimore. And during the time when our SPCA, the one in Chesapeake City, had discorporated, many of the local rescues started to network together in a group called the Forgotten Animals of Cecil County to try to take up that slack. And eventually a local group out of Delaware, which is a Buddy for Life, are the ones ended up kind of taking that contract for animal control.
That's correct.
Now, events like this, where you have all these different rescues starting to network together to help share these resources to make these things happen, do you think there's a sort of cause and effect of that vacuum of animal control that existed for a while, or do you think this might have just happened anyway? Do you think it was just?
Well, I think that helped out a little bit. It did, because it did get groups networking together, that weren't networking together before, because if they didn't, the calls never got answered.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And that happened for months, and so the local groups, even the smaller groups, started making phone calls. The big thing that I think really helped out with the networking also was just technologies evolved at that time. Throughout this year, smartphones made things very easy for us to communicate. The networking became much easier amongst the different groups. And we were fortunate that happened at that time, because we could network very quickly over our smartphones, and if an animal couldn't get taken in somewhere, we'd try to get it taken in with another rescue group or transported, even out of state in some cases, in an effort to help the people that were mostly in need. Now some people didn't get help because there's only so much time, so much money in the groups, but
Right.
That's something that's being hopefully rectified now. We do have an animal control entity. We look forward to seeing the job that they're going to do, and I think they're on the right path right now, to doing a good thing for the county.
And of course, the ultimate goal of all of this, of course, is to help the animals.
Yes.
For instance, spay neuter keeps keeps health problems down, keeps populations from exploding, of course. And of course, offering the shots and stuff, it helps keep animals healthy. And people that are of lower income that certainly couldn't afford this, it makes pet ownership available.
Yes.
To
yes.
lower income families.
Absolutely. Every kid should have a pet.
Yeah.
Growing up, everybody should have a cat or a dog or have the opportunity at least to have one.
Yeah.
And just because your parents don't make, a certain wage bracket doesn't mean you should, be deprived as a kid to have a, puppy or a kitten growing up,
Yeah.
Or if, and the thing that's happened with a lot of folks is they've just fallen on hard times, layoffs, that type of thing, with the economy. And there's been real no bailout, I guess you could call it, for the animals of these counties. When mom and dad lose their job and they lose the house, or the foreclosure happens and they have to move into an apartment, it's hard to tell their kid that you can't take the dog.
Yeah.
Because it can't go into the apartment. And that's when a lot of these shelters really got overwhelmed.
Well, one of the other things that I know had happened recently, and I know we're talking about a cat event, I don't know if this is something that you might have an opinion on. One of the other things that happened is when you think about the economy and a downturn of the economy, luxuries are the first thing to go, and many times pets are considered a luxury by many people.
Unfortunately, yes. And they're the first to go, typically. And,
another thing that happened with that too was the court ruling that's going to be reversed soon regarding pit bull type dogs. I know many shelters talked about being suddenly overrun with dogs that would be considered pit bull type.
Yeah.
And this is a big issue with us with the defenders because our location at Sanctuary South, they're based in Prince George's County, which is a BSL county, and that's a big thing with them, is trying to save all the pit bulls and trying to get them out of the county before things go horribly wrong. This also led to a big overflow in shelters, which bad for the dogs, of course, but then this also pushed out a lot of space for cats because, all these dogs are being turned in because people are going to lose their homes and all this other stuff, and homeowners insurance, So, there's a lot of factors that led to the problems.
When a shelter gets overflowed, then they have very few choices, unfortunately. And if they don't have a good network of nonprofits that they're working with, or if they choose not to work with nonprofits like some have, unfortunately, that's the option they turn to. And in some cases, they feel it's the easier option. And we're trying to change that mentality. That's one of the goals we're trying to do. If there is an answer, there is a way to stop the killing, ultimately.
Yeah, pets are not expendable. They're not something you can chuck out when you get bored with it. They're a living thing that if you agree to adopt a pet, then you got to take responsibility for it one way or another.
Absolutely.
So, well, that's awesome. It's really great that we have these events. I'm looking forward to doing more of these.
Great, we are too. And if you see anybody that is looking to get a cat done, and they're on hard times, or they just they have a cat they just got and they just want a good doctor to do it, feel free to refer them.
Well, I'm going to have links at the end of this for all the organizations that were involved in the event, so people can contact them either individually or as a group to find out when the next one of these is going to be. Actually, there is another one of these scheduled, right?
Yes, but the location is still up in the air right now. It may not be here at Perryville Outlets. It may be at another new location, but we'll keep you updated on that. And I just wanted to say thanks to everybody that that stopped out and helped participate today. As usual, you all do a great job. Dr. Vance, Rough Life Rescue, you guys defenders, and all the volunteers that stopped out. Thank you very much.
Well, this has been really great. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Taking time to talk to me.
Look forward to next time.
You know it. All right.